Hello, witches, wizards, pagans, artists, weirdos, psychonauts, curious folks, truth seekers, and explorers. Welcome to Connecting the Dots, where we explore the mysteries of reality. I'm your host, Styx. Now let's dive into the weird and wonderful. Your magic is, in reality, how well you can affect those close to you, how well you can affect the collective, and how much you can affect yourself.
So we've talked about it a lot in person. We've talked about karmic luck
Yeah.
and that playing a major role in everything that happens in the world. And so I understand it. However, like I stated just a little bit ago, all of the things that I stated where I use luck, I think more so on a level of creating my own luck through knowledge and through confidence. So confidence and knowledge are what I use on a what would it be on a micro scale. So for my day to day, everything that I do is 100% on the micro scale of I create my own luck, and the raw power that I have as a person is what gets me from day to day and from month to month. However, I think that on a lifespan scale, that a lot of it is determined by this karmic luck. So I think that
Yeah, that is
while
true.
from day to day I am
Well, yeah,
capable
and
of, influencing.
you're yeah, and what you're talking about is the first category of karmic luck, which is how aligned you are, how well you are actually living up to your own standards, and how aligned you are with your chosen purpose and your stated goals. It is how well you believe you are holding up to the bargains you have made with yourself, and that is the first aspect. That's kind of ties in, or like really strongly ties in, with how you're describing confidence and how it creates luck for you.
Yeah, and I completely um, I don't know. It's a interesting subject that actually I don't think we've had this conversation out loud before, about the actual, like, what we think personally about it. Like I've heard, like we've used it in specific examples, and we've talked about situations and how
Yeah.
karmic luck plays into it. But when it comes to actually
Yeah, we've
discussing, like,
discussed other people and what we think
yeah,
is going
exactly.
on in their lives, but we've never discussed how we think it has affected us personally or
Yeah,
each other.
yep, exactly. And so I think so I know I've got my hopes and dreams, and I know where I want to go with my life, and my confidence tells me that I will be there, and according to manifestation and what do you call it, mindset shifting and things like that, my confidence and my current luck tells me that I will be there, but I technically won't know that until I actually go and do it. But it's also weird because technically all realities are capable, and so there's this weird fine line of where I'm still in a weird spot with understanding and knowing how karmic luck works. I like to
Yeah.
think that I have
Well,
really good
and
karmic luck, but at the same time, I don't know what's actually going on in the universe on that scale, because I'm still very young and still experiencing everything, and so only time is going to tell me where that actually ends up.
yeah. No, I have witnessed karmic luck many, many, many times where, like, I have been. And also there are times when karmic luck is very, very, very obvious. Like when you're in a group of people, and it becomes very extremely obvious who that group of, like, the collective perceptions of the group will manifest in each individual person's luck. If the whole group really loves someone and, like, supports them and believes that they should succeed, and that, like, the whole group believes that they're lucky anyway, then that will strengthen that person's power even if they don't personally believe it, and the whole group will witness that gain, and it will snowball to an extent, or at least to the greatest extent that is believable, you know? And yeah. Like, yeah, that so when you're in a group, and, like one person is always getting injured, always, like, especially I'll take like because I've worked in construction or like similar situations where like small injuries like um getting cut on a staple or a nail sticking out of something or hitting your thumb with a hammer or dropping a cinder block on your foot or any number of those types of small work injuries can happen. And there's certain people that for no reason on the job those things always happen to, but like in other environments that kind of they aren't that clumsy, and it's literally the like bullying or the evil eye, which just because a lot of people probably don't know what the evil eye is, I'll explain it right now. um Evil eye is just a jealous person or an angry person concentrating a lot of attention on you, and it manifests as a very mild psychic attack because it's just a whole lot of negative energy from one or multiple person like focused on you. It's just like a mild curse or mild subconscious psychic attack. um but anyway, um those types of things become extremely obvious when work like on a work site or like doing group projects where it's on the group, and it's not just a manifestation of anxiety, it is a manifestation of like everyone having such little faith in that person.
Actually,
Like it isn't.
if I can interject there, actually, I've actually been that guy in that situation a lot.
Yeah.
So mostly the times that I can recall, there's a few different times. One of them, ironically, as well on a construction site. So when my mom was alive, she would all the time, like all the time. I've always considered myself to be pretty nimble and dexterous and things like that, like really capable of all these things. But my mom and my oldest brother would regularly tell me that I'm the most clumsy person that they know and that I'm always getting hurt, right? And
Mm-hmm.
no, I wasn't. But then all the time, they would be saying that stuff all the time, and I would randomly get hurt in the weirdest way, like turning around and
and it's
smacking
not
the wall. Like, who
and it's
runs into
not
the
something
wall?
you have control over, and it's
Yeah,
not
it's just like a
something that you
complete
it's not
accident.
your conscious. It's not you doubting yourself. You like it literally has zero effect on your mental state because you're
Exactly.
grown enough that it doesn't affect you, but it still affects your productivity, and like it doesn't affect your confidence or your mood,
No,
but it
definitely
affects
not.
your productivity in such a noticeable way that you're like, what the fuck is even going on here? I don't deserve this bullshit going on right now. Stop it.
Like, that shouldn't have made sense. That's weird. It was like something tripped me out of nowhere, or like I just forgot that there
Yeah.
was a wall there. Um, so, yeah. And the reason that I bring that up now is because it hasn't been relevant since, like, after my mom passed away. That wasn't happening at all. Like, completely stopped happening. As soon as there
Yeah,
was
no,
nobody
she.
there
Oh my god.
saying it to
Yeah,
me, it wasn't happening
and
anymore.
I witnessed how low her opinion of you was. You
Well,
know,
that's because
like it was so obvious the entire time she was alive. Like she honestly hated you, and
oh yeah, I
I
know.
feel bad sometimes about how I used it to like get favors from her at the skating rink.
No, yeah, that completely stopped happening until I worked at the road construction crew that I worked on. And
Hmm.
when I was there, there were people all the time that were like, "Oh, you shouldn't be running. You're moving too quick. You're gonna hurt yourself. Oh, you're getting hurt all the time because you're running." And I wasn't,
Hmm.
but then suddenly I was. Suddenly I would, I was running and somehow I would get hurt. Like one of the times, I slammed my knee on a trailer. Like totally random getting hurt because everybody was like, "Whoa, why are you running? You're going to hurt yourself. Stop running. You're going to hurt yourself." When my whole life I've been running. Like if somebody asks me to go get something, I'm at least going to jog over to get it.
Yeah.
I can't be the guy that just walks over there and takes 10 minutes to go get the shovel. Like I'm going to run over there and get the shovel and get to work. And so they would always tell me, you're going to get hurt. You're hurting yourself. Like they would say it, like, how manifestation technique works,
Mm-hmm.
where you say it in the present and it becomes a
Mm-hmm.
reality. They would say it in the present before it would happen. They would be like, you're
Mm-hmm.
hurting yourself all the time
Yeah.
because you're running. I'd be like, I haven't hurt myself
And
yet. And then suddenly I'm hurting myself.
describing like 10 minutes to a day ahead of time exactly the scenario that is going to happen.
Well, so they never, like, they would literally just say that. Like, they would say, you're hurting
That has
yourself,
happened.
or you're gonna hurt yourself, or you're gonna get hurt. And it was never like, don't worry, you're gonna smack your knee on that, or don't worry, you're gonna hit your head on that. It would just be, you're gonna get hurt. And
Yeah.
so it just manifested in weird ways of me getting hurt. But now that I've been, now that I've been working by myself and haven't had a job around other people like that for now over a year, it's been very obvious that it is other people that influences that, because
Yeah.
I haven't even stubbed my toe or smacked my thumb with a hammer or anything in over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing's changed.
And also, I wanted to tell another story just before we get too sidetracked. Remember when I was working at the last time that I worked at the Christmas tree farm? Um, and I was like drinking an insane amount. I never got hurt. I never tripped. I never fell. I never dropped anything. They were throwing things at me and I was catching them because like I was not really acting sober and they knew something was up. I guess they just weren't going to fire me as long as I was catching things they threw at me. But anyway, um, like just my absolute insane drunken confidence made me never mess anything up, even though I was the most likely person out of everyone there. With all the laws of physics and medicine and reality, that everyone agrees upon, except for me. I should have not been able to do that, but I was drinking half a bottle of vodka with breakfast before going to work, and then half a bottle with lunch before going back to work. And yeah. So, the third type of magical power I wanted to discuss is wealth. Wealth is the like physical manifestation that all intelligent beings on the earth that we currently know about, like aliens, are probably here watching us, and we don't know if they use money or what they use for money. They probably have some sort of super advanced intelligent crypto of some sort that is beyond our comprehension. But anyway, the most easily recognized and like aside from knowledge, because knowledge is something that you have to actually learn about a person to know that they have. But wealth is what I'm getting at here. If you haven't put 1 and 3 and 2 and 4 together, you know, wealth is what I'm talking about. Um, because wealth is something that you will be known by before people even know anything else about you. When they hear your name and you're brought up in conversation, people will like first bring up the most unique trait about you, or the thing that you're known for, the memory, the personality trait, the skill set you're known for. And the second thing they bring up is how wealthy you are, you know, or how well respected you are. One of those two things, and usually they are very closely tied together. But anyway, wealth is the most recognized form of power that all of humanity will agree on. Like ever, knowledge isn't so immediately usable. Knowledge is more reliable. Knowledge is something that can't be taken away. But wealth is something that if you have a shitload of money on your credit, or not credit, on your debit card or in your checking account, or like collateral or credit, then you can make things happen immediately. So, and also, just because that is the human recognized like type of power, or the biggest one, is the um it is that much more effective in the collective perception at increasing your metaphysical power as well. So Wrangler, what's your spin on that, or what kind of Where thoughts can you add to that?
Yeah, so I am a business person, so wealth is right up my alley of expertise. So I believe that there's a lot that goes into wealth. Wealth is not just money. Money is a very major aspect of it because on Earth, money is what makes the world go round in an ecosystem sense. Without money, you can't really afford to pay the guy to do the thing that then did the other thing that passed his money off to somebody else. That, it's a full circle. Money is just like the water system where it cycles through everything.
Yeah.
But there are many other aspects to wealth because, so wealth is, there's two different things. A lot of people confuse rich and wealthy. So rich is, and this doesn't have to be with just money. This can be with anything, with respect, with, whatever. Rich is, I have a lot of this, but there's none coming in. Or maybe there is some coming in, but, there's a major chance that it could just all go
Rich
away.
is net worth.
Well, no, it's rich is I have a lot of it, but there's a certain amount of it. Like if I win the lottery, I'm rich, but I don't have a system that is bringing me more money. Wealth is anything that you have an abundant amount of, so a lot of something. Abundant is just so much that you don't feel like you're needing it. So if you're abundant in money, you have no need for money. You're comfortable. You can give money to other people. You can share what you have. You're happy. You're comfortable. You always have everything that you need and more. So wealth, that can be abundant is both rich and wealthy. Wealthy means that you have a system in place that is constantly replenishing it. So if you run a business and you have money coming in constantly and it is more than you possibly need and it is just constantly flowing through and it will continue to flow through by itself for the next 10 generations, you are wealthy. However, a rich person has that same business, but they don't have the systems in place for it to continue running without them for 10 generations. So it dies out by the second generation because their kid didn't understand how to run the business because the dad never taught the kid how to do it or, whatever the combination is. And so because it died out, it wasn't wealth. It was rich. They were a rich family. They were not a wealthy family. The Freemasons, they're wealthy. And it's not necessarily in money.
Yeah.
They're wealthy in class. They're wealthy in who they are.
They're wealthy in knowledge.
Exactly.
They have some and just to interject here, I don't really know a lot about the Freemasons. I barely know anything, but I have studied what I could easily about them and their not theology, because they don't allow you to really know their theology, but I've been around some of their members and the way that they think and the way that they respect and hold reverence for old members and historical figures and family members and things like that. I have started to see it as kind of a reincarnationist cult because I think this is all conjecture and I do not have any solid evidence for this. It's just an assumption based on random things that I've seen and heard. But I think one of their main practices is their members are really, 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 really old souls, or their highest members are really old souls that is the collective renown for their personalities and their when you get into them, that's why they're so big. That's why any group is so big into names and monuments, because I think the Vatican, the Freemasons, also I think there's several big major groups that actually know how reincarnation works and things like that on a fundamental level. And that's why they use monuments and things with names to tie renown and souls to this reality so that they retain more of their memories of this real life and this reality every time so that they can keep building generational wealth and generational power. And that is the reason why ancestor worship and renown for like themselves is such a mainstream thing in these cults, quote unquote, like quote unquote cults. But yeah, that is a crazy conspiracy theory that is an actual conspiracy theory that has very little backing. But do the thinking yourself and tell me what you're coming up with. You know, I want to know y'all's take on how their theology manifests in the real world and why they might be pushing the things that they push, if not the reasons I have assumed here. Okay, and the last type of like metaphysical power is renown. And so renown is kind of like a cross between wealth and karmic luck, because it is your physical deeds, like not physical meaning the things that you have done, like actually done, like acts you have performed, and not just personality traits or aspirations, but things that you have done. Um, these things tie into your renown, and like, yeah, renown is things you have done and like what you are known for as a person by other people. And like it is a very impersonal thing. It will be like based on like super sigils you create if you make magical tools or any kind of or not even magical tools. That's an extreme example and a very personal one because I do that. But if you create anything physical um, that is sold or given away, or like any kind of philanthropy, like humanistic or whatever, anything like that will add to your renown and power among the people. Um, because it is your like your renown is your I could say spiritual wealth or your magical wealth, though those aren't really accurate. Um, but it is your renown. It is your perceived power, like in its most raw form, versus like karmic luck or wealth, like physical wealth. So yeah.
Yep, I completely agree with that. Um, and I mean, it's pretty obvious with the way that the world works because if you are known, I mean, it's just very, very obvious. Like, obviously, celebrities have a lot of power because everybody
Oh yeah.
knows their accomplishments. Everybody recognizes what they do and what they've done, and they say, "Oh yes, yes, we know that person, and we love that person, or we hate that person," you know. And so they've got a big enough following in some way that they've got all those people backing them with whatever they do. Um, and so
And
I,
it strengthens their personality in that way. Elon
it,
Musk is a huge, like, major example of this. Think how much more down to earth Elon Musk was before people started perceiving him at like, and he was when he first started Neuralink and Tesla and the Boring Company, when he wasn't so scattered, when he was like actually trying to make change in the world. He was so much more down to earth. He wasn't nearly as arrogant. And then everybody started being like, oh, he's crazy. His goals are too high. When he started getting famous, the collective perception of him was that he was this crazy rich guy. And he literally turned into that crazy rich guy. You know, he wasn't always a crazy rich guy. When he started, like early on, he was much more goal oriented and less dramatic and less like flary and like yeah. He's I think he's partly like a lot of it is just the collective perception of his personality, but I think it's also him seeing Trump's success and copying the like blatant, arrogant bravado that Trump uses to sell himself. And like Elon has decided to use that because, from his point of view, the smart people will see what he's doing and support him because he's the most intelligent man controlling technology and technological advancement and furthering people in the most efficient and humanistic way. And the stupid people will follow him because they like his personality and like his arrogance, the same reason they follow Trump. So it's kind of a win-win. The moderates, the people that pay just enough attention to notice when someone's being a really dumb, arrogant actor, will just see him like Trump, though. I do not know. Like, it has become so muddled. I don't have an opinion on Elon other than he is the figurehead for human technology, at least in the West right now. So that is the only thing I can definitively say about him right now. But yeah, I think he was more down to earth, and now he's batshit, and everything else is, or more batshit. Everything else is just random conjecture.